A society obsessed with health is a sure sign of sickness, it is said, and the commands coming down from on high, which is a misnomer, are increasing in their absolute absurdity. Face shields and goggles are next, but there's absolutely zero evidence that any of them works, least of all the masks. Dr. Anthony Fauci, the man described as America's top infectious disease expert, about as expert as Bill Gates, has told the American public if you have goggles or an eye shield, you should use it. If you have a muzzle to shut yourself up, Mr. Fauci, you should use it as well, jackass. Now, these are the words of a would-be tyrant, like a little Napoleon, who just lives to boss others around while he flouts his own stupid rules, remember. He only puts the mask on when the camera's there. Now, for the moment, he said it's only a recommendation, but the lockdown zealots have kicked off their pro-goggle campaign by having some intern write a fluff piece that ends with the sentence, "It won't be weird if everyone's doing it." Well, actually, it will. It's a typical bot-like statement that it won't be weird if everyone's doing it. Groupthink, hive mind. And in a week, they will have the big guns writing a pro-goggle or go-ogle op-eds. In 2 weeks, the police will be fining people for not wearing them, and soon you'll be compelled to wear full forensic gear inside your own home. Where does it all end? The sheer desperation of these goons. And what bothers me is Trump has fired many in his cabinet, and yet this flip-flopping psychopath remains. And the question is, why? And you can add Birks to that also. Burke by name, Burke by nature. Those in the UK will get that. But this latest narrative will actually work in our favour, as it's overkill actions. Remember the Operation Blackout simulation where the Red Team failed twice due to overkill. And those new masks they are espousing reminds me of the Thothian-looking doctors in the Middle Ages, another staged event, and that was the plague. Then we got this tweet came in. Today in Hollywood. Q-Bert stormed CNN station chanting "Save the Children." They made props. QAnon stormed the CNN building in Hollywood to chant "Save the Children," and no, they don't mean the ones in cages at the border. And the Hollywood protesters were storming the building with signs saying Pizzagate and QAnon signs along with "Save the Children." That is good news and pleasing also, as it's now years after we first announced that 900,000 children go missing each year in America alone. Now it has become a major focus of attention. And I see some now are stating nearer the figure with the 800,000 and not the isolated numbers thrown out of the alt media in the past. And it's good to see it's being reported and hopefully being corrected behind the scenes. The good news goes on. Thousands of people assembled in the German capital to rally against the anti-coronavirus restrictions, describing the measures as undemocratic and a threat to freedom. Around 15,000 protesters took part in the event dubbed the End of the Pandemic Freedom Day, according to the German media, who was citing a police estimate. Yeah, right. And the crowd marched through downtown Berlin as they held up signs featuring slogans such as "We are being forced to wear a muzzle," "Natural defense instead of vaccination," and "We are making noise because you are stealing our freedom." This continues, and the real figure was over 1 million German people, not 15,000. But as per usual during these events, the Rent-A protester brigade moved in again, spitting their racist bile whilst being racist themselves. The protest attracted a variety of activists, including right-wing elements spotted carrying Germany's imperial flag. Several small counter-protests were also held in the city, and some of the mask-clad counter-protesters held signs accusing their political opponents of harbouring fascists and anti-Semitic views. You can't have a protest without bringing out the guilt and shame spellcast of fascism and anti-Semitic, can you? Oh, the irony is fascism was created by the Zionist establishment. Oops.